Humans are social animals. Conforming to the demands of a group or community through our cultural norms, expectations, and standards of behavior is actually a powerful driver of social acceptance, all associated with some presumption of a better, easier life. Imagine then what it means and what is involved to not conform and not to be accepted, and the courage it may take to challenge a system, the norms, the standards, those norms and standards that we all in some shape or form expected to meet. Some individuals seem to do this quite naturally, are sometimes unsure of why they just feel uncomfortable and the pressing personal drive and need they have to challenge authority, while others are perfectly aware of what they're doing and yet do it anyway. Lack of acceptance within a group or community confers a risk and a definite downside. The benefits of taking the risk, of lack of conformity and acceptance, need to be sufficient to make non-conformity worthwhile. This requires envisaging a different and positive future, or alternatively, it could just be sheer obstinacy in the face of confronting an orthodoxy that the individual considers just plain wrong or inappropriate. Having such levels of self-belief is a remarkable attribute, and certainly not everyone has it, or even those that do don't always maintain it throughout the whole of their life. It's something that we actually expect of the young, of adolescents, that they do rebel, and it is right that they do so. Although such rebellion can and often does lead to problems in the classroom and consequent labelling, exclusion, and dropping out of formal systems of education. It's important here, though, to appreciate that many gifted individuals drop out of formal education, and certainly many entrepreneurs do so. This is not about inability, but rather a need to lead a life according to their own standards, combined with the passion to learn in ways that are not necessarily reflected within formal education. The world needs these disruptors, those who are prepared to challenge, to undermine systems, to fight authority, to protest, to do things differently. These are the people that any nation needs. Not necessarily in terms of public order, of course, but certainly in terms of innovation. Change is a normal part of life, while disruption is all about radical change, away from a recognized state, of moving from the status quo, a position of equilibrium, to disequilibrium, at least in terms of economic thinking and economic models. To introduce such radical disruptive change through innovation, either as a technology or through a market, changes that can potentially transform an industry, society, or environment, that requires individuals who are up to the task. And not everyone is up to such a task. Introduction of disruptive innovation is dependent upon individuals who are comfortable with radical change and challenging convention, those who are content with uncertainty, ambiguity, and the risk of losing acceptance, respect, and inclusion among their peers and community. Because disruptive innovation upsets the proverbial apple cart. It means people may potentially lose jobs, status, money, all from which there will be an inevitable backlash, a defense of the status quo. Those individuals who are really capable and enjoy working under such circumstances, and who are prepared for the resulting chaos, exclusion, and anger associated with their others' thwarted ambitions, these are often the most resilient individuals who have failed to fit in any number of other systems, communities, and associations. Those who have the experience of being different and coping with ridicule, of defying the flow. These are the very individuals who are needed as potential disruptive entrepreneurs. It is a case of finding a disruptive entrepreneur and by some means matching that individual with a disruptive technology or market, or allowing them to access potential opportunities and giving them the choice, letting them select that opportunity that most suits their interests, and then letting them run with it. This, of course, is not the usual way of supporting entrepreneurship. But if disruptive innovation is so key to a nation's economy, then there is a need to be innovative regarding how we go about finding the individuals who are resilient and capable of delivery and then unleashing their energy. If we really want to be innovative, it may be that we need to look first to those resilient individuals with self-efficacy and belief, an experience of challenging the norm, of causing disruption, and then placing some of the real opportunities to disrupt into their hands and setting them free to do so. It would be a brave step, but maybe worth a thought.